clear him, and then you can see a nice clean start, Nick.
Yeah, they got a first timer. The jockeys were issued with a very serious talking to, both last night and by you.
Yeah,
this
but I'm
afternoon.
proud of
It
them.
worked.
I'm proud of them because they all lined up. They gave themselves a chance, didn't encroach on the starter, and we got a good first goal.
Okay, and it's that shorter run to the first fence, and they didn't seem to build up quite so much momentum, Richard, as we head to the first.
My binoculars are just shaking at this stage, Nick, trying to pick out anything that I can possibly see just before Simon throws. Balthazar King is handy. Viking Blonde not too far away there towards the outside of the field. T for 3 was always right up there amongst the finishers that are involved, and because I couldn't seize the horse on the inside.
No real significant errors.
No,
at the
I
first
know
fence.
nothing fell, but I didn't really see anything that really made a bad mistake. Chicago Grey's always towards the rear and he claps the third, but by and large they jump this well.
Swing Bill, the very white grey there, third from the right, made a slight mistake there, and Chicago Grey, the grey in rear. And this is your final look at fence 1 of the 30, and as you'll see, they're all over. And what about from the Worm's Eye?
But the worm was quaking at this stage.
As we were, as we watched the 40-strong field thunder down to the second fence. And again, they are all over. Balthazar King, top of the shot, red colours, is leading them across the bay. The very pale blue is also up there early, gave Henry Brook a great first spin for a long way. Mumble's Head is last at this stage in the purple and pink colours, Mick.
Yeah, Balthazar King, if you backed him, he's having a whale of a time out in front of Richard Johnson. He's enjoying himself. Bala Briggs as well. You can see here across the bay right in the front of your picture. Just look at these shots here. These are great shots. Imperial Commander, you can see him. He was about 5th when he jumped that.
And that's Chicago
Chicago
Grey's
Grey,
mistake,
right at the
yeah.
back of your shot.
He's on the inside as you look at them over this shot. This is the third. And again, it's right in front of me, and other than Chicago Grey being ponderous, you mentioned how well Balthazar King had jumped to this point, but if you back Chicago Grey, he was already just backing them off them slightly.
You're happy, but he's going a bit rapid in front. You see Kellis Street at a grey horse going through, Swing Bill another grey, and Chicago Grey right at the back of your shot, making another mistake.
Across the bay is the one up front who's slow. He gets into the bottom of it. Doesn't look like falling, but he was the one that was slow amongst the leaders. And from then on, that left Balthazar King clear, and he had a clear advantage heading down towards the fourth.
Yeah, look at this. This is a great shot here. Look at it. The whole field streaming through. The winner at this stage, Aurora Zonko, right in the middle of the pack, in the blue colours with a yellow hat.
Now we're having a look at fence 4 again, and Seabass makes a slight mistake here toward the outside, the maroon and white colours. He just got in a little bit tight, Mick.
Yeah, he did, but he's prone to do that. He's very careful jumper, and Katie Walsh again had a lovely ride on him.
But isn't it great that we're picking out little errors at the moment? They're all still standing.
Yeah.
All still standing, some not enjoying it all that much. Chicago Grey is tailed off. This is the one before Beecher's first time round. Fence 5, Balthazar King across the bay. Oscar Time gave Sam Welly-Cohen an amazing ride again.
He did, but again, Sam Welly-Cohen, when we see the shot here, he's on the right of the picture in the white noseband. There, Sam Welly-Cohen, he's just allowing the finish. Look at that bad mistake there from what
Sol.
looks like
Yes, I
it
think
was
it's
Sol.
Sol, yes.
Mark Grant did well to maintain the partnership.
This is fence 5 once again. The grey in shot there is Kellis Spree, who was up there for a long way.
T for 3 alongside him as well. Nick Schofield having a nice time.
And because I couldn't see who was jumped off front rank, we pointed him out. He's now towards the rear. He's already not facing them. This is Beecher's.
This is Beecher's Brook, and all over Beecher's Brook.
Aurora's on course now is about 7th or 8th.
90th minute, right at the very back there, of course, Niall Madden.
Aurora's on course just getting himself into a nice position even this early here. He's taking off just about now in the blue and yellow colours behind the leaders. As you say, there are a couple at the back that are struggling. John Cole, who never travelled with much fluency, was another one.
This is Beecher's Brook.
As they land, just look for the brave men coming into shot here. There you go, Jason Maguire. You can see, because I couldn't see Martin first, and there, of course, Paul Carberry going through on Chicago Grey.
And having cleared that, theoretically, the next fence is the easiest on the Foynehaven.
Here we go, this is Foynehaven.
This is Foynehaven.
We can see.
And that was pretty clear. We'll see that we'll catch up with those fallers in a moment that come from fence 8. That's fence 7. They're all clean over that, although right at the back, 90th minute.
You will
is
see, though,
to
big
struggle.
fella, thanks, we're about to lose him.
4'6", still pretty big, the Foynehaven fence. And look at the angle.
This is the canal turn we're seeing here.
Yeah.
And you can see the very tight on the inside. Mr. Moonshot, bad mistake there going through.
So that's actually the canal turn. That's fence 8
We lose
rather
3
than
of them
fence
there.
7.
Because this is where the horses fell. Treacle, Big Fella Thanks, and the Rainbow Hunter. Well, we've missed the canal turn.
This is
Over we go to
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
OK, let's wrap up the canal turn. Big Fella Thanks fell there, Treacle fell there, and the Rainbow Hunter. They were the first 3 out of the National, all at the same fence at the canal turn.
And this is Valentine's. And they're all over Valentine's. So the ones at the canal turn that went, just to reiterate, Treacle, Big Fella Thanks, and the Rainbow Hunter. 90th minute is well tailed off by this stage, and he gets pulled up very shortly.
Not enjoying himself, and at this stage as a jockey, it's time to get out of there.
This is fence 10, and all over the 10th. But they are beginning to string out, Mick.
They are beginning to string up, but you'll see in a second, Nick, once they get across the Melling Road, it's time for the jockeys to get a breather, and you'll see the whole field concertina again.
And this is a big open
It is
ditch.
a big ditch. You've got to give this fence respect, because if you don't, it'll bite you. You can just see the winner there bumping in the middle.
That was Viking Blonde at the back who made a bad mistake. He'd been handy early and was soon drifting back.
Yeah,
It's
just
the same fence.
Just look for that here. See T for 3 going through there in your shot. You can see Barry Geraghty having a lovely time, Roberto Galva. The champion jockey, Tony McCoy, Colbert Station, middle of the pack, white hat. You can just see him there.
And the horse we lose in a moment is Tatanen at fence 12. Quite a long way back in the pack.
Red and white colours with a little bit of black in there as well. You'll see him. And there he comes just to the bottom of your shot. Ooh. Nasty looking tumble for Andrew Thornton. Pleased to report that he got up after that, and the horse as well.
Oldest jockey in the field coming down at the 12th. And then they swing for home. 30,
Just watch this
40.
concertina effect, Nick, because the ones in front take a little bit of a pull, and just watch how the field all comes together here.
How good an idea do you have, Mick, by this stage? You've jumped 12.
Oh, you know.
You know? 'Cause
Yeah,
there's a few,
you know.
aren't there, that have drifted back, struggling. Chicago Grey mentioned John
Yeah.
Cole.
Like Paul Carberry's doing his utmost on Chicago Grey, just to tack him onto the others here, because he knows at this stage his horse is not enjoying himself.
Across the bay, he's still in front.
He's
under Henry
loving
Brook.
it. Henry Brook, first timer, he's having a whale of a time. This is a moment that he won't forget.
We're heading past the grandstands now for the first time. They've got two relatively straightforward fences, Mick, easy for me to say, and then the massive chair.
Yeah,
This
it is,
coming
but
to
again,
13.
you know, you've got Henry Brook here in front. He's using his brain, because he knows in a second he's going to have to tack out a little bit to go over. You have to go across the course to jump the chair. It's an isolated fence in the middle of the whole track.
Okay. And Aurora's Encore is holding that position in
Just
the
look
middle
at
of the
Ruby
field.
and Katie Walsh there
Yes.
together. Just at the bottom of your picture, they're both together. And you can see Ruby's got a little bit close to that. And I wonder in a minute, Richard Hiles was telling me he saw them having a little
Well,
chat.
I thought they were having a chance. They passed me. They stay side by side. Viking Blonde, we mentioned, was beginning to tail off. He was pulled up either just before or after that fence, and now we've got the chair.
The horse in third on the inside is Sol, who ran really well for a long way and ultimately finishes a very creditable 7th. Oscar Time stands off the chair a mile, orange sleeves.
Sam Whaley Cohen will want to see this up close, because his horse Oscar Time has loved it.
But the most significant piece of news, AP McCoy unseated from Colbert Station. It'll be down as unseated rider. Let's highlight him for you. AP McCoy on JP McManus's Colbert Station. 2/3 of the way back,
Oh,
white
he's
cap.
just stepped into the middle of it, and he's given AP no chance. He's not actually fallen, but AP has got a right kicking for his trouble. Santar came over the top of him.
John Cole was the other one at the back. He made a similar mistake, actually, to Colbert Station. They just left their back legs behind, and you stopped so quickly, you fired
Trust
out the
me.
front.
Look at this here now. We'll look for the winner. You can just pick him out for you.
He's about 5th or
Just gone
6th.
through, yeah,
he's-
5th or 6th. He's improved his position. This is a real breather for the jockeys here. Time to fill your lungs and just exhale almost and breathe a sigh of relief. You've got this far.
In front of the massive grandstand. Mick, can you hear the crowd noise at this stage?
You're aware of it, but it's almost like a dull noise in the background. Now there's the winner. 6th
Stop it.
in the middle.
There we are. Blue colours
Just
with the
jumping
yellow.
it, jumping it nicely. Ballard Briggs starting to fade a little bit.
Yes.
Kappa Bleu, you can see him. He's just tracking Ballard Briggs. John Call and
And
Chris Cover. It's Lost Glory actually.
Lost
Just
Glory
going
shortly
through.
is to be pulled up. Now, Across the Bay was hampered there by the two loose horses, but there were, I think Simon said 33 that went out on the final circuit. We were doing a quick head count, trying to work out how many had gone, but that's a large amount.
So, up to fence 17. Let's stop it here, and we'll try and pick out some of the leading players for you. Let's find the winner first of all.
There he is.
And he's taken up a pretty prominent
Aurora's
position.
Encore. He's in a lovely spot, because now as a jockey you can just sit there and say, right, okay, I can take stock. The horses all around me are going okay, but I'm travelling better.
Let's find the runner-up. There's Kappa Bleu, who is pretty handy at this stage, but he eventually drops back and then runs on late.
Then we have Oscar Time just here. He's very handy, but Sam Whaley Cohen is having a whale
He
of a
has
time
got
on
a
him.
great record around these fences.
T for 3, he's right alongside him.
He
You
is,
can just
yeah.
see him there as well.
Okay, this is fence 17, so it's the first on the second circuit. And there are a few struggling. One notable struggler at this point is Bala Briggs, who won the race 2 years ago.
Yeah, he
There
along
he
with
is,
three
just
others
there,
are going to
Bala
be
Briggs.
pulled up before Beechers. Called it a day there. He takes the next few fences, but his chance has already gone.
You can see he's got a bit close to that. Because I couldn't see Chicago Grey, he struggled to make up that ground. Lost Glory at the back of the pack as well.
Lost Glory was pulled up, blue cap at JP McManus. But up front, across the bay, T for 3, eventual third. Oscar time, eventual second is on the right.
Yeah, but look alongside him, you can see the eventual winner, of course, Aurora Zonco. He's having a whale of a time.
Now, this is a lovely picture. Stop it now. And we're going to have a look at Ruby Walsh and Katie Walsh, almost side by side, as they were throughout. There is Ruby on his own. And if we have a look, we can find Katie almost next door, adopting an almost identical race position.
Absolutely. And once the loose horse exits the scene, I think, after this as well, I think Katie takes a pull just to let it go in front.
Yeah, it's just jumped across her a little bit and hampered Seabass, which is not ideal. You can see Mumble's Head, Wheeler Dal, of course, they're both on the left of your shot.
And that's where I saw them, right together, side by side. And John Cole is about to pull up because he's tailed off at the rear of the field. But also, Aurora Zonco is still travelling well. I remember giving him a mention, being surprised, to be honest, he was still there.
Swing Bill has run a remarkable race, the grey. He's finished 6th.
He has finished 6th and he's enjoyed himself. This is a big ditch here. Just watch there. You can see Balthazar King making a bit of a mistake as well. He's in the red colours at the front. For Paddy the Plaster, Bala Briggs going over Chicago Grey. Because I couldn't see as well, last in the shot.
You're still a mile and a half, mile and 3/4 from home.
You are.
10
Still a long
fences
way
to
to go
jump.
here. But again, look at these horses up at the front end of the race. Oscar Time. He's now in a very good position.
Harry the Viking is beginning to lose touch. He's also in red colours. He, along with Kellis Spree and also Bala Briggs, and for Paddy de Plasterer, was shortly to pull up, I think, the other side of the 21st.
Yeah, this is fence 20, all over.
We've got to give T for 3 a massive mention. Mark Evans had that fantastic documentary last night about how to win the Grand National. T for 3 was the horse that he features, and he jumped brilliantly all the way around.
This is the one before Beechers, 21. Beechers 22 is next. 22 is second time Beechers, and no faller at this fence on either circuit.
No, because I couldn't see, decided he wasn't going to take Beechers. He was pulled up.
Interesting that Ryan Mania has just pulled off the inside as well on the winner, Aurora Zonco. He's kept him away from the sharpest part of the drop.
And that mistake on the inside was for Paddy de
This is
Plasterer.
the run to Beechers. Let's stop it here. And Aurora's encore on the outside. Is jumping up to join issue, Mick.
He is, but he's well. Ryan has used his brain here. He's actually come off the inside. You can see him there, right in the middle of your shot, in those blue colours with the yellow as well. Across the bay alongside him. T for 3 is leading there as we land over this. He was very sure-footed, but again, Saul did well to survive that little blunder. Mark Grant maintaining the partnership.
There was a mistake by Mumble's Head towards the outside, and there were a few that pulled up here. Imperial Commander, and there were actually 4 who pulled up around about the same time. For Paddy de Plasterer, Kellis Spree, they both pulled up at that point. Bala Briggs was another one who called it a day.
Foyne-Avon fence next. This is the smallest fence on the course. I said this is fence 23, and again, all over this.
But again, you can see Capabla, he's starting to get on the tails of the leaders now. Paul Maloney getting himself into a position where he can challenge.
Bala Briggs well tailed off. And Balthazar King is starting to lose his pitch
This is
now.
Foyne-Avon again. We can just see them as they come over here. Just look, T for 3, Oscar Time handy across the bay. The winners just flashed through. And as well, where's your money gone? You can see them. These horses, they didn't figure in the end.
And having been alongside Katie Walsh, on his own's beginning to struggle. Ruby's lost that
he
point
was beginning to
before he
struggle.
falls.
There's Ruby here. We can just see him. It's just highlighting for you quickly. There he goes.
On his own.
Just flashing through. He's starting to struggle. Tarquini is just in front of him. You can see as well Mr. Moonshine as well. These horses are struggling. Paul Carberry, he's cutting the corner on Chicago Grey, but he's tailed off.
I've seen them bunch up much tighter on the inside of the canal turn in the past years, Mick.
They have, but you can just see Henry Brook just nudging across T for 3 because he wants to keep as tight as he can around this corner.
This is a very significant moment at Valentine's because on his own, and Ruby Walsh fall.
He is right at the bottom of your shot on the right. Just watch here. Ooh. He pays the penalty for some sloppy jumping. Nice cushioned fall for Ruby. Glad to see Horse and Rider get up.
Beige
Just watch
and
him
black
here.
colours.
There he goes, just in your shot there. Down he goes. He basically hasn't respected the obstacle.
And Seabass was just in front. How did you think Seabass was going here, Richard?
Well, he began to make slight niggly mistakes, and this is where, you know, again, this is Ruby
just
Walsh
about to
again.
go. There he goes.
he was just begun to lose his position. It was almost a tired-ish fall, really.
On we go.
Sunny Hill Boys well back at
fence
that point, just to
26.
give him a mention. We haven't mentioned him. He was out of contention. Chicago Grey never in it.
No
But
fall is
at
26.
this point in the race, Nick, you're thinking as a jockey, ooh, I'm going well, I've got a chance here. And Ryan Mania, he must have been pinching himself, thinking, I'm still there.
And your expectation level would have been low. You'd be happy you got that far, travelling
Trust
as well.
me, when you get to this stage in the race, you're delighted you're still there.
So T for 3 still there. Aurora's Encore actually made a bit of a mistake there, the winner. It just knocked him back a couple of lengths.
It did, but it might have even helped him, you know, because it's given him something to aim at.
Mr. Moonshine pulls up at the rear of the field. He's well out of contention.
Sol
There
on
you
the
go.
inside making strides, the two-tone blue, and just behind him, eventual runner-up Kappa Blur. Swing Bill the Grey. Maroon colours Katie Walsh. This is 3 from home, but still a long way out, mate.
It's still a long way out. Look, and you can see Ryan Mania, he's given his horse a kick in the belly, he's answered his call. And for me, it's anybody's race at this stage.
I must admit I thought T for 3 might win because he was the strongest stayer. Navy and white stripe colours as they come to fence 28 in the middle of the shot.
But the amazing thing is, you've got Henry Brook being shadowed by Ryan Mania. Both of them first-timers in the race. They must have been having a great time.
And just looking at Katie Walsh, maroon and white Seabass, she's at the bottom of the picture there, second from the right, and she's just trying to
Yeah,
urge this horse to give a little more, but he's not got much in the tank.
She's nursing him. She's desperately hoping he's got a little bit left.
Is there an element, Nick, of, you know, you've written here that the front two both thought they could really win the race, and they kick on here, and they take each other on a little bit?
Not really. I actually think Aurora's Encore is a confirmed stayer, and he's actually just winged past him at the last.
Let's have a look at Kappa Blur. Slow this right down. Kappa Blur is right at the bottom of the picture here. He's here under Paul Maloney, and this combination, Evan Williams and Paul Maloney, a placed horse in each of the last 5 years.
But again, you know, Evan has always gone on about the fact that Paul Maloney is such a good horseman. He's ridden this horse to achieve the best possible placing. Had he really got stuck into this horse early, he wouldn't have finished second.
Now, there were a couple of horses unseated at the back of the last fence, which is very unusual. Roberto Goldbach, who'd made a number of howlers on the way round under Barry Geraghty, green colours, if you can see that far back. And Sunny Hill Boy likewise last year.
Just looking at that shot there, T for 3's got very close to the last, and that's just cost him valuable momentum. But the winner, Aurora's Encore, has absolutely flown it.
And he hasn't flown up the running as such, but he's kept going well enough.
Yeah, but again here, like Ryan Mania, he can sense that loose horse is coming behind him, and all he's hoping is it hasn't got a jockey on it and it's flying home.
And at this stage, we've got a Scottish national runner-up in front and a Welsh national runner-up in second place. Eventually gets collared by Kappa Blur for
I'm
second.
pretty
Again.
sure I called the Scottish National where Aurora's Encore went at the first. So what a change around. And
But this is a life-changing moment for Ryan Mania. He will forever be known as Ryan Mania, Grand National winning jockey from now on. In his first try, all I can just keep emphasising to him, soak it all in.
And sometimes, as in your case, winning a Grand National can really launch your career to another level. In other cases, it might not. You might go back to anonymity, but whatever, the moment will never get taken away from you.
Never. And every year at this time, Ryan Mania will remember it crystal clear. I am a Grand National winner.
Aurora's Encore wins the John Smith's Grand National. He's the first of 17 finishers home. It's 6-1, Aurora's Encore. Kappa Blur was second, fourth last year. T for 3 was third. Bidding to become the first Welsh winner since 1905. They'll have to wait another year. Oscar Time, runner-up 2 years ago, fourth this time, unconsidered, 66-1. What a race he's run. Rare bob for Brian Cooper, got a tremendous ride.
He did,
for
yeah.
Desi Hughes. We didn't pick him out as much as
no,
we
he was
would have
always
done.
just midfield and crept into it past a few stragglers late on.
Into sixth now. Swing. Bill's run a remarkable race. Sol likewise for Mark Grant. Tarquinius did a lot better than most people expected, Mick.
That's for sure. Gordon Elliott will be pleased with that. And Wilson Rennick will be delighted.
St. Dougie Costello managed to get him round. Always waning, never really sighted.
No, likewise Major Malarkey, who was always towards the back and joined together really. And then the ones that really pay for trying to win the race are the ones that eventually now fill these last positions.
Exactly. Seabass, who was sort of toward the fore across the bay, made a lot of the running. Balthazar King was right up there early. Quiscover Fontaine has completed eventually in 16th. And last of the 17 finishers was Any Currency.